Hello friends, I am here with a dinners video and I wasn't even gonna share it because I'm like, it's just not what you're supposed to see on YouTube. It's not perfection and all of these like really great recipes. It's really just to look at real dinners, and I'm like, you know what? I am gonna share it because I got inspired from a conversation I had with a friend from college this past few days. And you know, it was great catching up, and then we got onto the conversation of dinners, and it was so refreshing to talk to another mom, another woman with the struggles of dinner and picky eaters and trying to balance everything. And it was such a nice conversation that it definitely made me feel, okay, I'm not the only one that goes through this. And that is why I want to share this dinners video with you. It's 5 nights of dinners, and I'm gonna talk about the 6th because I didn't film it and it was the best dinner of the week, of course. But I thought that you guys would like a real look at dinner, so let's get started with it. We are starting off on a Thursday night. It is November the 11th. It is Remembrance Day, and we usually have chili for dinner that night. Thankfully, I had some in the freezer, so all I had to do was thaw it. And then we usually have toast on the side, but I had some of these little brioche buns. I really enjoy these. And I'm actually going to toast them in my Ninja air fryer, my dual air fryer. So I put a couple of buns on each side, and then I'm just going to do match cook for both of them. 390 degrees air fry. It didn't take the full 20 minutes. It just took a couple of minutes. We like to have sour cream, some green onions, and then some shredded cheese on top of our chili. Hunter is keeping a close eye on everything. Andrew does not like chili, so I had some pancakes in the freezer, so he had breakfast for dinner, and we had our chili and our little buns, and it was perfect on a really cold day. So a great start to this dinners video. And then the next night was Friday. So it is pizza night, and I really like making these little naan pizzas. It's pretty much our normal Friday night dinner. I find it's the perfect size. There's 4 of them, so we each eat one for dinner, and then I keep one the next day for lunch for Andrew. I am using my new pan from Costco, and then I am using this Rayo's marinara sauce. I always have this on hand, and it makes a perfect pizza sauce. So I put that on, and I'm going to make Canadian pizza tonight. So the first ingredient is pepperoni. I really like this Pillars brand, so I just put some of that on. Then the next ingredient I'm going to use is bacon. I like to use this crumbled bacon from Costco. It's already cooked. All I have to do is put a little bit on each pizza, and that looks good. And the last ingredient, what do you think it is? What do you think the last topping is for a Canadian pizza? Well, mushrooms. So I had some petite mushrooms, so I sliced them up to place on top. My oven is preheated to 450 degrees, and I like to use this mozzarella ball, so I get it all shredded up and then put this on top. I just love this cheese for pizza. It sticks together quite a bit when you shred it, but it's definitely worth it. And then that goes into the oven for 15 minutes at 450 degrees. Andrew's going to have fresh fruit, and we are going to have this Caesar salad. I just find these kits are really easy. It's the perfect size for both of us. It has been 15 minutes, and then I broil it for 2 just to kind of put a little bit of brown on the top. So I'm going to let these sit for a couple of minutes, and here's the finished product. I love this on Friday nights. It's quick, it's easy, but it's really delicious. Tastes like something you get in a little pizzeria joint, and we just put them on a nice platter. Andrew had fresh fruit, and we had the salad. Saturday did not go as planned, and we ended up getting takeout. My husband picked out a fried chicken place. So you get coleslaw, sweet chai sauce, gravy, biscuits. You get a couple of bottles of pop. We got 6 pieces of chicken and some fries. Andrew usually gets nuggets, but we thought we'd try him with this. So we cut all the chicken off the bone, and he ate it. He loved it all, and it turned out to be a really quick, easy dinner. Our weekend did not go as planned. Saturday was a full day. Sunday we were away for most of the day, and I had took these bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs out Saturday wanting to cook them, but that didn't happen. And I'm like, you know what? I got to get dinner on the table. We already got takeout once. We're not going to do it again. I don't want this chicken to go to waste. So I had found a recipe for crispy baked chicken thighs. And I thought, since Andrew did really good the night before, maybe this recipe would work out. All I can do is give it a try. So it says to sprinkle oil on the chicken. I just use my pastry brush to distribute it on here, and I thought it would work out really good. You make a spice rub, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, a teaspoon of paprika, and then a teaspoon of salt and pepper. I will link the full recipe down below if you want to see the full recipe and instructions for it, but I thought this pan, the chicken would crisp up really nice because it's called an air crisp rack. I got it at Costco. I've used it so many times. I really, really do like it. And I thought that this would be a really crispy dinner for Andrew. I thought he would like it because, you know, just with the skin on, I thought it would crisp up in the oven. Now it says to sprinkle on the spices and then rub it in. I just used a spoon, and I really think that I should have used my fingers and really spread it around and worked it in. I just found the spices kind of sat on top. So I definitely, even maybe shaking it in a bag would have been good too, just kind of like shake and bake, which I was originally going to do, but I thought I'd give this a try. I just thought it would be better. So for fresh vegetables tonight, Steve and I are going to have asparagus. I just cut the tips off, and then for Andrew, I have a zucchini. So I'm just going to slice this up. And what I do with our zucchini is I just boil it for a couple of minutes, and then I put some either oil or seasonings on it. I'm going to do it a little bit different tonight. And then for Andrew's zucchini, I just put a little bit of olive oil, and then I use a Parmesan and herb spice. It's really nice. I've used this on potatoes. I've used it on different types of vegetables. And then I'm going to put a little bit of marinara sauce on for him. And to finish this off, Andrew's going to have some crispy sweet potato fries in the Ninja air fryer. And then I bought this spring mix salad. It's 2 for $7, so this was the other one. So here is the finished product. Andrew ate the fries. He ate the zucchini. Chicken was too tender. It was really juicy. He did not like the texture. For us, the salad, the asparagus, I put a balsamic glaze with some feta cheese, some slivered almonds, and then pepper. The chicken was very tasty, but it was very juicy. It wasn't crispy at all. And I really should have went ahead and done the shake and bake. The Beagles are keeping an eye on everything. Off with vegetables for this dinner, I'm going to use onions, green peppers, and mushrooms. Onions and peppers are vegetables that I always like to have in my kitchen. You can do so much with them. You can make stir fries, you can make sheet pan dinners, you can make pasta dishes, you can make omelets. I just find you can make so many different things with them, and I always like to have them because I'm always like, you know, I can come up with something. And then I also had some white mushrooms, and I had some steak that I had bought, and I was thinking about making cheesesteak sandwiches, but then I decided I'm kind of craving a stir fry. And I was honestly going to make something completely different for Andrew this night. Like I was going to do meatballs and pasta. And I'm like, you know what? Let's come up with something that he'll like, that we're eating. It's a little bit different. I'm making a stir fry for us. Andrew does not like stir fry. He does not like rice. So I came up with something. What do you think I made? Let me see if you can take any guesses. So I'm also going to make rice for the stir fry. So I have some olive oil. I just make the Thai jasmine rice. It's a great value brand. I just take 1 3/4 cup of water, bring it to a boil, and then I add 1 cup of rice. It turns out perfect every time. So I'm going to go ahead and cook my vegetables. And for Andrew, I'm going to make quesadillas. Is that what you guessed? So I thought it would work out really good. I bought this steak. It's like sliced for sandwiches. And I just thinly slice it up, and then I cut it in half again because I also have to worry about choking and gagging. I know it's something that not everybody has to think about. And this steak is really good for this because sometimes you can chew, and it just gets to be too much of a sensory issue for Andrew. So this steak is perfect for sandwiches. It's perfect for stir fries. It's perfect for quesadillas. So my vegetables are cooking in the one pan. I'm like, you know what? Let's just go ahead. I'm going to be using 2 pans anyways, and cook the beef in the other one. I just put a little bit of oil in there, but that's not going to take long at all to cook. And then I'm just waiting for my water to come to a boil, and then just cooking the vegetables down a little bit. I wanted to add some ginger and garlic to the stir fry, but I wanted to wait until I had everything separated. So this really did not take that long to cook. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this out of the pan. And I'm going to put some of the vegetables in here for Andrew, and then just mix it all up. And then for our stir fry, I'm going to add the ginger and the garlic to this. I have the rice in the pot at this time too. It's not really that hard to kind of come up with 2 dinners. Sometimes I have a hard time coming up with it, but I'm finding that I'm trying to do this more and more. So I'm not having 2 separate things or having all of these leftovers and stuff goes to waste. I find this works out really good. And we had the chicken from the night before that was left over for lunch. We had some sandwiches. And then for this too, it makes a great leftovers for lunch the next day. So I'm adding the ginger and the garlic for here. And then for Andrew, I wanted kind of a familiar taste for him. And he does like salsa, he does like tacos, and he does like tomato-based sauces. So I thought by just adding some salsa to this here that it would work out really good. It would be a familiar flavor for him. It would be a nice protein, and then it was also be the vegetables for him. And I knew that he would like them. So I was feeling pretty good about this dinner that night. And I don't know, you have the two pans side by side. I don't find it's that big of a deal, but I know sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, but this all cooks so really easy that you can't really make a mistake with it. So for Andrew, I am going to do these veggie tots, these broccoli and cheese. I like to have stuff like this in the freezer. And then I had some little pad thai spring rolls, so I thought those would be good for us. So once again, I'm going to use my dual Ninja air fryer here. I can air crisp one differently at different temperatures, and then everything is kind of ready to go. I have the timer going, and then I'm gonna make a simple sauce. I have 1/4 of a cup of water in the bowl, in the bowl, 1/4 of a cup of soy sauce. Then it's 1.5 tablespoons of sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch, and then you just mix this up, and it thickens up really nicely and makes a good sauce for your stir fry. This is a different soy sauce that I bought. I forget what the brand is. I usually just buy the VH sauce or the Great Value brand, but I found this one tasted a little bit more like Worcestershire sauce. It wasn't as salty as the other one, so it was a really nice addition to my refrigerator and making different sauces in that. So I'm just going to pour this in, and it thickened up really, really quickly. I was really surprised with how much it thickened up. So I just decided to add a little bit more water to it just to kind of have it a little bit saucier. Andrew's filling is all ready to go, so I'm going to have to get another pan out, and then I'm going to do the quesadillas in there for him. So the frying pans are easy to clean up. It's not that big of a deal, and I wanted to crisp them up for him too. So our stir fry is pretty much done now. I'm just fluffing up the rice, so I'll turn both of those elements off. When I do quesadillas, I like to do them in half instead of full like this. It usually doesn't make as much of a mess. Now, I didn't have any shredded cheese, so I just took a cheese slice. It's the Monterey Jack with jalapenos. It would give a little bit of a kick, and I just did it at the top too to just make it all stick together. But as I was flipping it, it kind of fell out a little bit, but I definitely should have just done 2 half ones. I think it would have been a little bit better. So here is the finished product. Andrew loved it. He ate all of it. He loved the quesadillas, the broccoli bites, the grapes. So he had a good dinner. And then we had our stir fry with the spring rolls. It turned out really, really good too. And then we all had leftovers for the next day for lunch. So that was a great dinner. And then also to have leftovers. This was dinner number 6. And honestly, I started it and I'm like, you know what? I just want to get dinner on the table. It's not fancy. I thought I'd probably be judged for it. But I used these chicken parmesan, uncooked, stuffed, seasoned, and breaded chicken breast cutlets. I got them at COSTCO. And I do them in my Ninja air fryer. So I did 3 of those. So we each had 1 of them. I finished up this box of penne rigate. Steve and I had these French green beans. Andrew had zucchini. And then I used the Rayo's marinara. Now what I did was I just boiled the pasta, and then I poured some of the Rayo's in there. I didn't heat the sauce up. I just kind of poured it into the pasta while it was hot and put it on low and let it just kind of sit so the sauce could kind of cook into it a little bit. Andrew loved this. He loved the pasta. We loved the vegetables. It was just a quick, easy dinner, and I feel like I did the best that I could with what I had, and I was very happy with it. I'm really sorry that I didn't film the pasta dinner. My husband was like, did you get your picture and everything? And I'm like, no, I didn't film it. He goes, you didn't? And I didn't film it because I really didn't plan on sharing this dinner's video with you. And I really regret that I didn't, because it was such a nice dinner. And my husband, he was in the military and he's been in different places over the world. And it was a really nice conversation because he goes, this pasta is really good because it tastes like what it was in Italy, how they did it in Italy. And he said they kind of baked the sauce into the pasta. And I was like, wow, that was like a really positive feedback from him, because I felt really disappointed in what I had made for dinner, that it wasn't good enough. And I try and buy sometimes better quality convenience foods. Yeah, the Rayo's marinara. I actually read a review on pasta sauces, and that was the second best pasta sauce. There was one that was higher, I forget what it was, but I remember all of you telling me about the Rayos, that when you can't make homemade, you use that. And the same with the chicken breast. They're not the best, but I still think they're a quick, better option than grabbing takeout or just throwing in some chicken nuggets. It's what I did, and I shouldn't feel guilty about it. I think that's part of the problem with sometimes is that you see all of these amazing inspirational videos, but sometimes they're not always relatable. So I hope that this dinners video made you feel not so alone, that everything doesn't always go as planned, that, you know, sometimes you have picky eaters or you do a recipe that doesn't turn out, and it's okay, because you just go with the flow. And we used our dinners for leftovers the next day. Nothing went to waste, which I was really grateful for, and I just keep trying to do the best that I can. I'm not going to be filming dinners for the next little while, like just videos for that. I'm hoping to get more into that in the new year, but for the next little while I'm going to be doing more vlogs. I am going to be doing Vlogmas, so I'll be sharing more of our dinners in like real time and what goes into like the busyness of the day and how we get dinner on the table. And when I do a recipe, I'll share that too. I just find it's more inspiring and real to see how women, families do it throughout the day and balance it all. I really find that there's less and less of that on YouTube, so I might as well put out what I'm missing, and maybe you guys will enjoy it. So if you're new, please subscribe. If you enjoyed this real look at dinners, give it a thumbs up, and let me know if you guys have the same struggles too, or you just say, you know what, this is what's for dinner, I'm okay with it. And those nights where you're feeling guilty and you just don't want to cook, order something that will make life a little bit easier for you. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and I hope that you all have an amazing day. Bye.